Several people that were protesting in front of the federal building. Yeah. And we also had people protesting at Pershing Square. At one time one of the groups was estimated to be over 1,000 people that ascended onto City Hall. We had some individuals that went onto the freeway. So all day it's been a cat and mouse game of chasing the individuals to get them to get off the freeway so as not to cause traffic accidents out there or injure themselves.
Here on Main Street, what do we actually
and what led us here to Main Street is we've had a group that continued to run along the street, running into roadways, blocking traffic, failing to comply with officers' commands. Every time we attempted to bring our sound truck up to give a dispersal order, they would run to another street and leapfrog. So ultimately, we were able to corral a group that seemed to be a problematic group, maybe over 100 people that were left as part of the rambunctious group who were throwing objects at police, shooting fireworks. Police, unfortunately, were not able to positively identify some of the individuals because they were shooting from behind the crowd, projectiles at officers. We have a few different local field force groups going right now. I've learned of one arrest for a person that used some sort of aerosol device. You would imagine, like a flamethrower, improvised flamethrower, and that person was arrested for that charge. The specific charge I don't know. I know that there were several other people who were detained and cited for failing to disperse off the roadway, so that was traffic citations. So that's all I know at this time. Now, a dispersal order was given, and I have to join the other group right now. We're in the process of dealing with the group that was given a lawful dispersal order. If they fail to disperse the people that were here on Main, they have now, I believe, gone to one of the nearby streets, which I need to catch up to the group. But if they fail to disperse, they can be lawfully arrested because they failed to obey the dispersal order.
Thank you, Captain Stephen Lee. Said something.
Yeah, it's Stephen Ruiz. Some of the individuals they were shooting from behind the crowd, projectiles at officers. Were you able to arrest anybody? We have a few different full force groups going right now. I've learned of one arrest for a person that used some sort of aerosol device. I would imagine like a flamethrower, an improvised flamethrower, homemade one, and that person was arrested for that charge. The specific charge I don't know. I know that there were several other people who were detained and cited for failing to disperse off the roadway, so that was traffic citations. So that's all I know at this disperse, they can be lawfully arrested because they failed to obey the dispersal order.
Thank you, Captain Steve.
It's Stephen Ruiz. Federal building.
Yeah.
And we also had people protesting at Pershing Square. And one time the group was estimated to be, one of the groups was estimated to be over 1,000 people that assembled on City Hall. We had some individuals that went onto the freeway. So all day it's been a cat and mouse game chasing the individual to get them to get off the freeway so as not to cause traffic accidents on the bridge themselves. What led us here to Main Street is we've had a group that continued to run along the street, running in the roadway, blocking traffic, failing to comply with officers' commands. Every time we attempted to bring our sound truck up to give a dispersal order, they would run to another street and leapfrog. So ultimately, we were able to corral a group that seemed to be a problematic group, maybe over 100 people that were left as part of the rambunctious group who were throwing objects at police, shooting fireworks. Police, unfortunately, were not able to positively identify some of the individuals because they were shooting from behind the crowd, projectiles at officers.
Were you able to arrest anybody in that crash?
We have a few different mobile field force groups going right now. I've learned of one arrest for a person that used some sort of aerosol device and lit a match, like a flamethrower, an improvised flamethrower, a homemade one, and that person was arrested for that charge. The specific charge I don't know. I know that there were several other people who were detained and cited for failing to disperse off the roadway, so that was traffic citations. So that's all I know at this time. Now a dispersal order was given, and I have to join the other group right now, but we're in the process of dealing with the group that was given a lawful dispersal order, and if they fail to disperse the people that were here on Main, they have now, I believe, gone to one of the nearby streets, which I need to catch up to the group, but if they fail to disperse, they can be lawfully arrested because they failed to obey the dispersal order.
Thank you, Captain Steve.
Yeah, it's Stephen Ruiz.
What's up, folks? Happy Thursday to you. February 13th, 2025. And it's, oh, for fuck's sake, day 24. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Day 24, I think, of the, fucking whatever, man. I'm already fucking pissed off. You know what? Fuck this fucking stream. I'm out. Day 24 of fucking Trump Shit Show 2.0 featuring special guests. Every fucking goddamn conservative clown. Anyway. Let me say hi to you folks. Cheers to you. My brother James is in this motherfucker, and Jim and Angela. And Nem is here. Nem, good to see you, brother. Been a minute. Jim says, I recently learned that TV is 5'5", has a skinny mohawk. I'll say this for the White House channel. I left feeling like I'm messaging it. Jim, that's what some folks have called that place, is Mensa meetings. Yeah. I don't know what, it's really odd. Like I've seen some of these fucking chuds that think I'm not a big guy. I'm not a small guy. But they're like, Tide is bigger than I am. Ragey's way bigger than I am. There's a few others that say they're 6'4". It's like, I don't claim to be fucking 6'4" or 6'2" or 6'1". Or fucking overweight either at that height. Yeah, I don't know if they got told a lot when they were growing up that they weren't big enough. It's the funniest fucking thing, ain't it? Nam, what the fuck's going on over there in New Zealand, brother? Nam just answered my question. None of it affects us here down under. If the USA falls, you'll drag all of us with you. What do you mean none of it affects you? You just said none of it affects you. Yeah, that's the Nam. I don't know how much. I don't fucking pretend to think that folks are fucking watching my streams, but dude, I've talked on that quite a bit, and not that I have a fucking my thumb on the fucking pulse of society, but and certainly no arrogance. I think it's a responsibility. It's like rather, even when we do our best, there can be negative effects on the rest of the world, and obviously Trump's someone that'll use that, to feed his power trip, that we do affect the rest of the world. So, like, I don't know, like, if shit got, you decide what level of shit is bad enough, right? But if shit got bad enough here in the U.S., I don't know what it would be like in, like if there would be the same degree of fucking chaos in other Western countries, because clearly other, third world countries and less well-to-do Western countries are going to suffer at a greater level than America will, unless we just totally fuck shit right up. You know what I mean? Like, not even asking anybody to hold our beer, just fucking hanging on to our beer and fucking sliding into hell sideways. Whipping Louis. There's one of the clowns that I speak of right there, RL. You guys ever get real bored and need your fucking brain to completely melt and leak out your fucking ears? Talk to RL for about 15 minutes. RL, how's the son anyway, buddy? How's your kid? Dave. Yeah, Jim says he's 6'3 3/4, too small for power forward and not enough vertical to measure. My cousin was 6'4 and I don't know, 225, and he was right in that same group where he just wasn't. He's a fucking monster though, right? Like all muscle moving. Yeah, I'm 6 foot, and I weighed myself at my daughter's on Christmas. I think I weighed 165, and I've been 170 for fucking who knows how long. The most I've ever weighed was 185. Nem says we have the benefit of isolation and being small. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, for sure, like, you guys and Oz has strong economies and, you know, just, you know, low unemployment rate and, yeah, that's over there. Mrs. V in the studio. You guys can't see her because she's on the back side of the camera, staying hidden. I'm just going to mic up the fucking whole room and studio, or cameras and mics. Get me one of those on-air signs. Yeah, it's gonna, like, that's what I was kind of saying, that the, you know, the strong, well-to-do Western countries are going to fare probably as well as we do, I would guess, just depending on how bad shit gets. Thankfully, right? Because I think, you know, again, we have a responsibility that, whether we want it or not, that what we do in terms of trade and, you know, military action and political influence affects the world. But I think that unless shit just totally fucking hits the fan here, yeah, places like Oz, New Zealand, the UK, Germany, right, Belgium, Netherlands, France, you guys get the picture. They'll be fine. There may be some countries that will, like I said, some other Western countries that may struggle a little bit more, right? And certainly Eastern, you know, Bulgaria and, of course, Ukraine, Poland. Those countries aren't going to do so well, fare so well. I think the NEM says our biggest trade is China and Oz, but our exports a lot of Oz steel. We export some dairy and beef to the U.S. A 10% is manageable. 10% tariff is manageable for us. Well, the thing is you guys, I mean, I don't know how it's going to, you know, I'm no fucking genius economist, right? That's putting it mildly. It's real simple, you know, if we're fucking charging people more to bring their fucking products here, they're just going to fucking up the price of the products. I honestly don't know if Trump understands that or if he just is like, so far it seems like all my base thinks that's how it'll work or doesn't understand that's how it'll work. So, it, I don't know. I had no idea. Nobody has any idea. It's fun to try and fucking predict what Trump's going to do. I just usually fucking shake a broken 8-ball. And it's pretty accurate. Because, 8 balls, those answers aren't usually too definitive. It's, who knows what the fuck he's going to do, but I'm surprised he went as far as, and maybe he's just more of a fucking, plays a poker face or whatever the fuck you want to call it, fucking is bluffing way more than I've realized, like he's just, because I thought he was just, I mean, this show, if he doesn't, follow through with these tariffs or, decides to drop them soon after, it shows that he's not quite as stupid as I thought he was. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, my thoughts are, I'm sure as you guys, like, the rich and the super elite don't give a fuck. And I try not to put everybody in a box, but, so I'm sure there's some super elite that aren't all about seeing people suffer and blah, 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 and wonder if they need a couple more $1 billion or whatever. But Trump, I mean, we know he doesn't give a fuck about us, but does he give so little of a fuck about us that he's willing to tank the economy just because he can? I mean, that would be the only reason, right? He would do it, is just to say, hey, look at me. I wield the power of fucking life and death. Is Angela and James going on about Sheldon Whitehouse again? If they are, I have to agree with him. He's a fucking ass kicker. You guys just know how much I love my governor, so. And, and it pains me to say this, especially, Angela in the House and her, Walz being an awesome VP candidate this last election. It fucking kills me to say this, you guys, because I just would, how much I love my daughters and my wife. Like, my girls were just, I wasn't the most, didn't do a ton of manly stuff, right? Like, I wasn't out hunting and fishing with the boys constantly and shit like that. I was just always aware and pushed my girls to know just exactly how fucking strong and awesome they are. And ultimately, I won't go too far. Women would be pretty much fucked, right, in this world. I mean, societies over these millennia would be fucking a shattered mess without them being so strong. But I guess it sucks to say it, but I guess Whitmer could be a liability, being she has a vagina. I guess. It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. I mean, I'm not completely fucking educated and informed on all, I haven't followed her as close as I have Harris, Trump, Vance, other folks, even though she's my governor. But I have spent a lot more time listening to the long interviews and stuff. I love that shit because there's it's not these sound bites, right? And even if the network or whatever you do in the interview with isn't necessarily favorable towards you, there's still editing going on. So I really love that shit. I think any of you guys, I know a lot of you do watch that kind of stuff, but I think those are really good. one-on-one sit-down interviews with a live audience. And so Whitmer just, she's a fucking force. She is, you can't be, she's quick on her feet, but you can't just be quick on your feet by being fucking witty or something. You know what I mean? You have to know your shit. You have to have battle scars. James says, TV2 scroll up, sent you a link on White House. All right, hang on, brother. Sweet. 11 minutes. James, I'm going to load it up. And I'm just going to hang on to it for a minute until I do my first BRB, all right? She said I finally found it, what I was looking for. Burp. Oh, for fuck's sake, Troy. Come on. She looked at me and said, all right. All right, James, I got that set up, brother. We will listen to that here shortly. And thank you. I appreciate you guys, I appreciate you sharing links with me because I always try and play most of them. Nam says, attacking and terrifying allies is such a dumb move. Yeah, it is. I mean, but Trump personally isn't going to pay any fucking price. Nam, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, and the only question they got to have, brother, is that, this goddamn GOP crime syndicate that they are is, hey, is it gonna seriously harm folks, not just here in the U.S. but anywhere, but even in the U.S.? Let's start there, because fucking U.S. elected officials. I mean, they must ask themselves that. They can't all have Asperger's like Trump or be sociopaths that are completely disconnected. It's not going to affect him, man. Even if, Trump... I asked this... I think I said something the other night when I streamed that... for whatever reason, it popped in my head, and I'm like, I wonder if Trump considers his death at all. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 54, and it's like, I don't know, 10 more years, 20 more years? I don't know. I haven't been the best to myself at times, so... You know how shit works, I don't know. I don't get regular doctor checkups, but at fucking 80, you got to think, fuck, I'm not. Maybe folks just plain don't consider it at all, and that's a great way to live. Like, well, the day you don't wake up is the day, I guess, you're dead. But for all these other folks, Vance, other lifetime career politicians, or folks that probably want to be Boebert, all that whole fucking Reedham Dukas bullshit, right? Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what price those folks will pay them. I mean, it's going to be it's certainly a bad move, pissing off and creating trade wars with allies, or just plain threatening to fucking invade them and take over their territory because we don't think they got enough tanks or whatever, or the territory that they control isn't well staffed enough and too close to our borders or something. It's all fucking complete fucking nonsense. Jim says Illinois is changing Michigan to Lake Illinois. Sorry, TV too. Jim, I was thinking about that, honestly, why it is that it is named Lake Michigan. And, and it's like, we're the United States, and you guys know this, we're the United States of America. It's like, how many countries make up America? Are we talking South America, North America, right? Regardless, it's 3 at a minimum. If we're talking South America, it's, way more than that, and combined the Americas, right? So honestly, the Gulf of America, it's a goddamn waste of money, and it's a joke, right? Like, I think it would just be weird to all of us because, a fucking half a century of calling it the Gulf of Mexico, right? It's fucking insane. But anyways, you guys can tell I'm yappy tonight. Anyways, Jim, I was thinking about that, and maybe it's because the state of Michigan has the most coastline on Lake Michigan. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe that has something to do with it. I mean, we're called the Great Lakes State because our borders touch 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. Angela says TV thinks he's invincible. Well, he does, and he I don't know what to say. It's almost good that we're busy, right? Because it is really, and you guys know this, it is really, really, I've been a fucking dick shit, fucking troublemaker. I mean, I never did anybody no wrong, caused myself a lot of trouble when I was younger, right? Like a lot of people do. Nothing too terrible, but, I got in trouble or whatever. So I'm no angel, no saint, but it's really... Fuck, his crimes are nowhere near compare to the little bullshit that me and millions of other people had done in the past, right? Yeah, it's hard, Angela. Sometimes, I mean, I don't want to say I get angry because then people get the wrong idea, but I do get pretty pissed off about it. Not smashing keyboard angry or fucking pulling what's left of my hair out and fucking pacing back and forth, but it's the frustration, like, and you guys have heard me, I still stand by our slow as fuck, did I say slow? But steady constitution and judicial system, right? I mean, when we get through this, we're gonna, I think I can say I'm gonna be damn glad that anyone who kept their shit together, kept their cool, didn't start fucking wanting to fucking do away with the democracy and start bending the Constitution our will, regardless if it just is so obviously clear what a completely morally bankrupt, criminal, traitor, fucking subhuman Trump is, and many of his followers. We just don't want to be like that, and we're human too, so it's tough. I know. It's tough. It fucking sucks. For sure he thinks he's untouchable. And so far he has been. You know what, though? It's, how long have you guys heard me say, Hitler was just a angry short guy without any support? It's all these fucking nuts we have to live with, Angela. 75 million of them that have kept Trump from being held responsible. I mean, maybe that's not completely fair for me to say because we have laws in place, but we've seen shit from SCOTUS that we did not expect. None of us ever sit here and claim to be fucking, law scholars. But it's very tough to swallow. But we're swallowing it. We did. Yeah, Angela makes a good point. The Gulf of Mexico is considered international water, so you can't just rename it because he wants to. I know, it's silly. He can call it that if he wants. Yeah, it's like America gets to fucking decide what it's called. How long before he changes the name of the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, right? American East Ocean and American West Ocean. Yeah, no one really wants lower prices and higher wages. Nam says, I wonder what our blackmail President Musk has on First Lady Trump. I don't know. I don't think she's either been very smart. Well, she has been very smart about whatever dirty deeds she does, right? I mean, I think her worst fucking moral crimes are just playing along. Just being another person that doesn't fucking speak out. I mean, she's got to be completely morally corrupt herself. I don't know. I've had this debate with myself, with you guys many times. It's like, what is there something that is just too overwhelming for a bigger percentage of humans? What you make it to a certain level, social status, financial status, that everything fucking changes. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would for me. I mean, not at my age. I've said I don't know. I don't think I could have sat here and told you guys the same thing 25 years ago. Hey, I'm, fucking power to the people. I would never be like that. I don't know that that's true that long ago if I wouldn't have been fucking sucked into the fucking all of it. Right now I wouldn't. Fuck no. I don't have, probably because for one, and maybe it's a little easy and selfish, but like, I don't give a fuck. I don't have the energy for all the neat stuff that being rich and part of that elite club brings along with it. What am I gonna fucking do? I can only stay awake so many hours a day as it is. Snickers Avenue. Nem says, back to work. Later, peeps. Good luck. Nem, it's good to see you again, brother. I know you're busy. Fucking come by and see us more. Probably gonna be at this shit as much as I have the fucking energy and will to keep my fucking mouth at a minimum. There you go, folks. Nem in the house. I forgot what fucking Nem's, what do you guys call that anyways, his letters stand for? I think it's North Eagle Media. Maybe if he's still got his ears on, he has a second to correct me. And I think I remember that because quite often, or quite a few times, I've gotten Kiwis that, not that Nam's a fucking homegrown Kiwi. I know his whole background. I guess I took to him a little bit because he's a fucking Dutchman. He's a true Dutchman, like, well, I was going to say like me, but he's a true native Dutchman. I just have the roots. But I always would get, Nem was one of the folks that would ask me something about, like the main network over there in New Zealand is TV2. I don't know if it's TV2 Media, just TV2. I got curious too last night, you guys. I can't believe I fucking haven't done this. I don't think I've ever just Googled TV2 Live. Like I've YouTube searched it a bunch of times. And it sent me to a fucking domain site or whatever. And so tv2.com is available for $996 or something like that. I was shocked. Are you guys a little shocked? I mean, does it not seem like it would be a hot domain name? I mean, I hesitated from naming the channel TV2 because I'm like, God damn it, that's stupid. Everybody's got a fucking TV YouTube channel. TV this, TV that. But obviously, you guys know it's my initials. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But it doesn't change the fact that there's a billion TV this and that YouTube channels out there. There's, I think, there's a TV2, well, there's a Rockford high school somewhere that does broadcasts about their high school news, and they name their stream titles TV2 Live. Every fucking one of them. I'm like, what the fuck? But the name of their channel is like Rockin' with Rockford or something like that. But they name all their fucking, and they stream live every day. Right? Like it's a fucking student news thing or something. I'm like, you guys don't want to fucking people to start confusing me with you guys. James says he Googled TV2 once and he got a special on Wi-Fi. Well, when I first made my channel, and I don't know if you guys went through all this, but like you could choose your own URL back then. I didn't have any idea, so I named my channel TV Artist 1, right? Well, there was another fucking TV Artist 1, and guess what their YouTube channel was about? Just take a wild guess. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, so it was like the what was the old sex spam bot the Tinder thing. That's basically what this other TV artist, some dude in Indonesia somewhere. I'm not shitting you. I'm like, God damn it. A fucking website and all that crap. Jim, yes. Jim says he's betting there's a van. Yes. You guessed right. Jim, it's fucking stupid, dude. I was born in Holland, Michigan. How fucking crazy is that? It's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? I got such a fucking fucked up Dutch name, even Dutchmen laugh at me. Jim says I'm worldwide. I get surprised. I'm always I always wear my heart and mind on my sleeve. I really do. Because, I always want to make myself clear and I always want to be sure, even at the risk of sounding like a self-absorbed bastard or something, but I not really, I mean, I don't dwell on like my channel analytics or any of that shit. But like, I'm sure every one of us here have like Googled our own name and to see what comes up and all that good stuff, right? See what fucking dirty laundry they're fucking airing out from 30 years ago. So yeah, sometimes I'm surprised at where I come up in the search results on different shit. It's like, holy wow, that's cool. Either that's, I'm like, that's cool, or just really, really sad for all these people that came up in the results under me. Jim says he came to Holland every year to see the tulips, pretty flowers, but geez, every damn year. Yeah, Jim, it's fucking madhouse. I haven't been down there for a very, very, very long time. Yeah, I mean, growing up with it, right? And it's a madhouse down there. And it's really, I mean, it's, basically a festival like the Coast Guard Festival just up the road in my hometown, right? But with a lot more flowers. And I gotta say, I do love tulips. They are an interesting story for sure. And there is a lot of them. I love flowers, so it is pretty, and it's always cool, fun to watch folks fucking dance for 4 hours in fucking what have to be the most uncomfortable wooden shoes. Darlene says, hey TV, how do you pronounce your last name? Vo. Long O. Van Vorst. James says he Googled sin and he got a moron. Angela says Google maggots and you'll see all of them. Actually, I did, Angela, and it says if they get one more, they'll have a full fucking set of idiots. They just need one more idiot to have a full set. God, I could be such a dick. What's that fucking hillbilly family? You guys, I know you've seen fucking YouTube suggest the Whitakers. Google Trumpers and you'll see Tide and Sin and the Whitakers and Ragey. Sorry. I feel like I can get away with that shit because, half my family's from Mississippi and God damn it. They moved, made their move to West Michigan, or half of them or whatever, a bunch of them, right? Before I was born, but still. And we were close to all our family down there in the sense that we would make sure we went and seen them and they would come up when they could and see us, or a few of them would because most of them was dirt poor, but holy fuck. I mean, I admit it's all distant cousins and shit, but yeah, there's some fucking sketchy shit that goes on down south. I hate generalizing like that too because we got Macaroni who we love and Southpaw is here today. He's a good cat. I'm sure we have some other good left-leaning Southerners that I'm not recalling. I've been to London, seen 7 wonders. There can be no denying. check some stuff there. Some minute. So what did we name this title? Or title of the stream? Trump almost has his 3-ring circus complete. Yeah, so I started to see the vote for Gabbard. That was this morning, right? My days are getting long and drawn together now. Again. And then before I knew it, I seen AP was streaming Trump swearing her in. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm done. And then I seen and we did get a chance to stream some of the Linda McMahon shit show. I wish I wasn't fucking able to hang out with you guys and listen to that, because I'm sure there was some incredible sound bites from that fucking crazy ass broad. Sorry. I know I shouldn't fucking use those words, but she is. So I think what other fucking nonsense do we have left? Kash Patel. Oh, and RFK was confirmed today too, right? I mean, I don't think. I thought about the other day. I didn't say anything to you guys, but it's like, was Gates the fucking scapegoat or what? Like, they threw just an insane fucking choice out there to go ahead and kind of concede on Gates before he even got to a vote, and then figured they'd be able to fucking run the table easier that way. I'm serious. I mean, they didn't need to, obviously. I mean, Gates wouldn't have got confirmed, but I think the way these confirmations are going exactly how I believe most of you would have guessed them to go. I mean, honestly, that's how they go. I mean, we've seen some fucking votes in favor of some of these fucks from, Dem senators that we might not have necessarily expected at, just at all costs. But it ultimately, I don't think there's much. I mean, you got to pick and choose your battles. I hope I don't piss you guys off. I don't know what to say. It's like, there's worse people than RFK Jr. And I know that's hard to believe. It's like, of course there is TV, but holy fuck. If someone's got a fucking 20 fucking gallon bucket of shit and someone's got a 10 gallon bucket of shit, of course the 20 gallon bucket of shit stinks more. Doesn't change that the other bucket is still 10 gallons of fucking shit, and that's what RFK Jr. is. However fucking many gallons of shit it'd be. For fuck's sake. Alright, you guys gotta calm down. Jim says, told you my father was a Baptist minister when I was a kid. Some family from the church would take us out for lunch. Always good sport watching the Dutch folks try not to pick up the check. You know what they say, Jim? You know how to fucking keep a Dutchman in suspense. Put him in a round room and tell him there's a penny in the corner. All right, you guys, let's, you're going to listen to it. I will go back and I'll probably catch some of it, but I'll go back and listen to it later, because I do like, I need to, you guys know how much I love doing, like the, just the different fucking media events, the debates, stump speeches, different votes on bills, nominations, any of that shit, right? I'm getting old and boring. I eat that fucking crap up. So I've been bummed that I haven't been able to pay more close attention to this shit and really listen to some folks, because there's, as you know, there's some fucking crazy, some crazy grandstanding and all that on the floor all the time. So, all right, here is the clip that James shared with us. I'm going to do a BRB, and I will catch you guys on the flip side of this. If I can find it. There it is.
By disagreeing with the notion that what took place with respect to the cases against President Trump was weaponization. I know that's the Republican theory of the case, but the other reason why the FBI and the Department of Justice would investigate Trump for crimes is because Trump was doing crimes, and there was adequate predication to pursue investigation of those crimes. And indeed, in every case that I'm aware of in which those cases were allowed to go to judgment, the president was convicted. So we can't allow the weaponization narrative to just remove the notion that the guy was investigated and prosecuted for crimes because he did the crimes. Once you start with the notion that Trump is not a criminal but a victim, you then have to invent the conspiracy that victimized him. And once you've propagated that conspiracy, you then have to find who the conspirators are. So then you have to go after FBI agents and DOJ folks in order to prop up that theory. The way that ended in Soviet Russia was with show trials of the individuals who were allegedly in the conspiracy. The way that ends in Trump's America is with agents and prosecutors forced out in mass purges that may well, as the Ranking Member Durbin has pointed out, been driven by Kash Patel as a private citizen. So starting with that point, there are three reasons why Kash Patel is extremely dangerous. One is all of his wild MAGA behavior. This is a guy whose judgment is beyond questionable. It's appallingly bad. We have a lot of quarrel about whether his enemies list is an enemies list and whether we're smearing the guy by saying that his enemies list is an enemies list. Here's what he said about it. He showed his enemies list and said, "The manhunt starts tomorrow." If they're not your enemies, why would you start a manhunt against them? He called them the criminals themselves and showed a picture of his enemies list. If criminals aren't your enemies, as head of the FBI, who are? He retweeted a video showing him chainsawing the heads off of people on his enemies list. If you're chainsawing the heads off of people, are they not your enemies? So the invention that this is not an enemies list requires people to go into just fantasy land. And these are his own statements. These aren't our accusations. These are Patel's own words. Going after people in the media, impeaching judges who disagree with us, shutting down the FBI Hoover building, on and on and on. This guy is a flagrant extremist with appallingly bad judgment. Second point, we don't know enough about this mischief yet. There are real open questions. We've never in this committee had a person come for a serious senior law enforcement position who had testified in a grand jury criminal matter, and we don't know what he testified about. He's entitled to tell us. That's basic grand jury Rule 6E law. But this side of the committee is completely covering that up. We have absolutely no statement from Patel about what his grand jury testimony was. And he's at liberty to give that to us. He just won't. And Republicans won't tell him to. So he gets away with it. He pled the fifth. You don't get to plead the fifth without a real and genuine concern that you can be prosecuted for a crime. What crime? We're entitled to know. We've never had somebody come through this committee for a high senior law enforcement position who had pled the Fifth. He's got the right to do that, of course. We've got the right to know. And by the way, when he exercises the right to do that in a civil proceeding, that entitles the jury to draw the adverse inference that what he is covering up in the civil proceeding with his Fifth Amendment assertion is against his interests. A judge will instruct a jury about that adverse interest, and we're not supposed to draw an adverse interest in this committee when we're not told about his Fifth Amendment assertion. There's all this weird stuff that's come up since about investments in Chinese companies in the Cayman Islands vesting while he will be FBI director. If the guy is supposed to be investigating Chinese intrusion into our intelligence faculties, if we're trying to investigate Chinese fentanyl trafficking into our country, why do we want an FBI director who is somewhere between $1 and $5 million into a Chinese company through a Cayman Islands shell? And then there are the Russia connections. I'll get to those at the end. We don't have to, where everybody's fond of saying these are Democratic smears. Actually, go to the Trump appointees who worked with this guy. What are they warning us? They're warning us, Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton. I didn't think he was qualified. I was forced to hire him. That's some recommendation from a colleague. His deputy, Charles Kupperman. Patel's ideas are ludicrous. He's absolutely unqualified for this job, untrustworthy, an absolute disgrace to even consider an individual of this nature. Definitely you want that on your resume by way of a recommendation from a former supervisor. Attorney General Barr said Patel has virtually no experience that would qualify him to be the deputy director of the FBI, and now he's back as the director of the FBI. And Trump's CIA director, Gina Haspel, threatened to resign rather than allow this guy into her office as her deputy. And if you go beyond the Trump appointees who are warning us about this guy, you can go to the last time he testified in court, which was in Colorado, and here's what the court found about him. That Patel was not a credible witness, that his testimony was illogical, and it was completely devoid of any evidence in the record. Okay, I've been an attorney general, and I've been a United States attorney, and I've put state police troopers on the stand, and I've put FBI agents on the stand. If at the end of a case, a judge made findings like this about a law enforcement witness that I put on the stand, there would be follow-up. I would want an explanation of why this witness was so incredible that findings like that were made by the judge. It would be a significant issue with respect to that witness's continued performance in office. And here's a guy who's been found to be completely incredible by a judge in his testimony, and we're acting as if that's nothing. That's not Democrats. That's a judge in Colorado. So the last thing I'll say is I think we need to begin to prepare ourselves for Trump-Russia 2.0. The Trump-Russia thing was, I'm not going to go back all over it, fully ventilated in the Senate Bipartisan Intelligence Report, in the Mueller report. Trump-Russia was a thing. We stopped talking about it, but Trump kept talking about it and saying it was a hoax. Trump-Russia hoax, Trump-Russia hoax. No, it was not a hoax. It was real. It was there. There's a record. Part of it was bipartisan work. Some of it was done in the House. There was an abundance of evidence about the Trump-Russia connection. And now what are we seeing? We're seeing Patel coming in, who says he wants to wreck the FBI's what he called intel shop, which is the part of the FBI that looks at Russia and does counterintelligence work against Russia. He said that he wants to close out the D.C. office and send everybody out into the field. Well, it's the D.C. office, not the field offices, that do the counterintelligence work. You want to shut it down? You're opening your arms to Russian intelligence operations. You go just across to the Attorney General's office, and there's Attorney General Bondi. What's the first thing she does when she gets in? Closes all the kleptocrature and kleptocracy investigation offices of the Department of Justice. Gee, who were they pursuing? Putin and his oligarchs. You shut down the group that has successfully grabbed assets off Putin's crooked oligarchs. What a signal that is. And then look at Tulsi Gabbard. I'm not going to go through the whole length of her Russia associations, but let's just say that a Russian news media editorial said that her appointment should cause the CIA and the FBI to tremble because she was a friend to Russia. Who defends us against Russian intelligence operations and Russia's criminal operations in the United States? It's the FBI, it's the Department of Justice, and it's our intelligence community. The people in charge of each one have sent powerful signals that they are shutting down our defenses when it comes to Russia. And we're about to head to the Munich Security Conference, where we are seeing Mr. Art of the Deal and his operatives giving away every piece of leverage that we have over Putin with respect to Ukraine. It is unilateral disarmament to throw Ukraine under the bus and give Putin what he wants. So mark my words. This Patel guy will come back to haunt you. Every piece of evidence shows that, and it is not Democrat evidence. It's his own words, it's his own colleagues, and it's judges evaluating his credibility. And Trump Russia is going to come roaring back if it's not already back. We should be on our guard about this nominee, and we should be on our guard about Trump Russia. Thank you, Chairman.
Senator from Rhode Island.
Thanks, James. I caught the last half of it. I'll get the beginning of it. These are some of the people that America has to offer. What the fuck are we doing? I joked a minute ago about loving all the fucking boring political stuff so much these last several years. When I wish I would have been more responsible when I was a younger adult, right? But whatever. I'm trying to make up for it now by helping you guys hammer down. We have so many. I mean, it's fucking incredible listening to some of these folks speak, right? And then I mean, we're not even close, right? We're just America or Trumpers, Trumpism, MAGA is just not even close to the rest of us. Just not even fucking close. Like, we're not playing the same ball game in the same park. These agenda, is that what project? God, I keep calling Agenda 2025. Project 2025 folks are in full fucking control, you guys. Full control. I said it last night or the other night that for the first time, I've considered that we truly have some form of shadow government right now. Do they actually have power over the puppets that they are, stringing along, like Trump and all that fucking Republican elected Republican crime syndicate, right? Because when Mr. fucking Grumpy Trump gets grumpy, he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants, no matter, you know, the size of the wake of destruction he leaves, right? So, but ultimately right now, you know, with things just kind of fucking getting fucking moving with the shit show, is that there's the Project 2025 folks are in control. In control. Remember, Vice President Vance wrote part of the forward or whatever the fuck it's, some sort of pre-ramble to that Project 2025 thing. You're welcome, James. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. You guys make doing this a lot more fun because I want to be able to enjoy myself doing it. I want you chatters to be able to enjoy themselves. We got to have as much of a ride as possible without it being just a goddamn fucking juvenile clusterfuck of a chat, right? You guys help keep that fucking, help maintain that sanity and focus. I come here, I don't fuck it. The Chuds got it all wrong about me sometimes. I do these streams to learn, not to teach anybody anything. I mean, if somebody learns something from me, it's probably, I don't know, something silly like don't fall asleep with a doobie in your mouth, or Kakistocracy. Yeah, that's a new one. That was one that I just learned recently. I think you or maybe you and Jay both, I believe, had shared that just recently. Bill, possibly. Yeah, maybe it was Bill. Jim says he's starting to understand Trump's flushing issues. He's surrounded by turds. Yeah. It's like, it's so, like, what do you do with it all, right, Jim? Right. You know, we can't get to Trump because of the fucking piles of dung we have to fucking sort through. It's hard to believe that it's worked, though, Jim, but it seems to have worked. It's the same way with the fucking campaigning, right? Like, they just hammer down on bullshit. And by the time anybody finds out, anybody, you know, by the time any Trumper gets around to fucking, you know, being able to bring themselves to be bothered with reality and facts, no matter whatever the fucking news source they want to get them from, if they're facts, there's just 3 more fucking piles of shit, right? Like the fucking, you know, the biggest lie of the year, the fucking, they're eating the dogs. Zip. Nothing. I don't know what it's like over there in Ohio. I mean, obviously that's supposedly Vance's state or whatever. You know, a part of me wants to say, like, they said fucking immigrants were eating pets, TV. What is there to fucking go on about it? It's just, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous, right? Of course it is. But we have president and vice presidential candidates spewing that bullshit, however ridiculous it is. And the way that Trump does stuff, he fucking makes it personal to his base, whether it is or not. Like King Tide, you know, is a great example. He makes a great example, doesn't he? At least he's good for something. Fucking preys on their fears, their ignorance, right? Like, you know why You had such a tough time making rent last month? Because of the immigrants in Ohio eating dogs. That's right. Your whole fucking life sucks because last week somebody falsely reported a Haitian immigrant eating someone's pet. Don't let the fucking truth stand in your way. You have a fucking bone now. Run with it. Right? Am I fucking laying it on too thick? It's just, what else do we do anymore? We sit here and fucking, and we will, but I struggle sometimes not being a completely cynical bastard. Is Mac in the house? Oh no, Angela's just referring to him. Head to mute, but White House was watching Rachel. That's right, I forgot. I streamed her last week, one night. Jim says, honestly, I knew we were fucked when Kellyanne started talking about alternative facts. Now, she was still spewing some sort of Trumpism not too long ago, right before the election, but she's been somewhat quiet, right? Maybe she has a more toned down position somewheres in the Trump traveling fucking circus freak show. Look, I can see all kinds of fucking Democrat and Republican couples, right? Her and George. But not at this level, right? I mean, Trump isn't a Republican. Jim says there are 500,000 athletes in the NCAA competition. Is less than 10 are transgender. Yet that's the big culture issues. Personally, I try to get children fed. Yeah, there's none in high school. One, I think, to be quite honest, there was one trans athlete in high school, and I think it was like an individual sport that they were in or some shit. So I don't, right? Like they weren't out there. It's not some dude out there fucking smearing fucking 13-year-old female gymnasts or something, tackling them to the ground or whatever. Jim, me and Putin had a nice conversation about this shit a good year or so ago. He's like, TV, what do you think about all this crap? Because I don't think, it's not that I don't think, there shouldn't be biological men in women's sports. And I am not the person, I guess, biological male should be up for debate, right? Clearly it needs to be. I don't get to decide how that is defined any more than you guys do. Collectively, I guess we need to, but I know that I've struggled a little bit with speaking on this topic at all because there's a part of me, and maybe some of it's an excuse, a very small part, because I don't really shy away from too many subjects at all. If I do, it's not out of fear. It's a personal thing, right? Like, it must suck for these people as it is to be, feel like they're part of the headlines all the time. It's probably not an easy decision. Many of us know, folks in the gay and lesbian community. So there's a lot of personal stuff you have to deal with and, finding out, accepting, embracing, and, building who you are. And not like in some sort of, preconceived way. Finding out who you really are and being the best you. So I don't. It's like Jim just said, 10 athletes out of the 500,000 in the NCAA. One that I know of in actual high school sports in the U.S. So very, very, not really an issue at all right now. But my thoughts are that we don't need men, biological men, whatever they're going through. I guess my thoughts are that the transition would have to be complete, and that certainly should work both ways. Though we're probably not really. The concerns at hand don't really seem to work the other way, right? We're not necessarily concerned with some woman transitioning to male and, snapping the neck of a male wrestler or whatever, right? Because there's some sort of, physical and biological differences there. I don't know. It's very tough too because, like I said, and I know we have a handful or at least a couple female refs in the NFL and other major sports. Didn't we have a female kicker in the NFL already, or maybe it was college ball? So, and I think if those ladies want to get out there and fucking compete, I say, I don't see anything wrong with that. But going back to my statement about trans men in women's sports, I would be being a hypocrite. Jim says post-puberty transitions aren't recognized, even if it's like full physical surgery and all that, Jim. And I don't know. I have never looked up this specifics to see exactly how much of a female I could become, or a guy could. You guys know what I mean. This is probably so I don't necessarily avoid any topics out of fear. Maybe out of awkwardness. I mean, I'm not that afraid of offending anyone because clearly it isn't out of just a choice of being ignorant or anything like that, but I'd rather not offend folks or, I mean, the only way you find out about this shit is just do some reading, but it's like, I feel like it's poking my nose a little bit in someone's business that they don't need me poking it in. Yeah, Jim says if your weed has not been whacked, you play on the boys' team, son. Right. James says, God, I hate these fuckers. Seriously, I know. Yeah, James says the insignificant minor issues are being used as scapegoat to the real big issues. Exactly, James. How often do these... Oh, God damn it. You're lucky you're so far away, James. I'd be fucking tackling you and telling you, you're right. You're right. Fucking distractions, James. I don't know what to say, James. You see his fertile field of fucking morons. They absorb the shit. It's easy for Trump. Can you imagine? None of us before any of this could have thought, I can just go on TV if I got enough money, because that's ultimately what it comes down to is initially, primarily, they see Trump as a rich success. That's debatable. Anyways, that's the image, and they clearly, and it's not like just Trumpers the only ones that think that will somehow trickle down to them. But it's not how it works. And as you guys know, and Trump gets that. He understands what fucking dry little sponges they are, you know? Damaged sponges, right? Self-loathing. Like, this is my opportunity to make up for being such a fuck up my whole life. Trump will help us. Trump will make America great, and I can stand up and say I'm a part of that. It's for every one of these motherfuckers, from the fucking top dickweed fucking cult czar, right? Trump, all the way down to the fucking lowest slime Trump supporter that doesn't even fucking have the gumption to go out and vote. Right? Absolutely fucking self-centered fucking agenda. Every one of these folks. And it's funny because they're probably just huge fucking extremes, right? Elite and extreme poor. That's your fucking Trump supporters. What the fucking percentages are, I don't know. I don't know how many people are really actually in between. Maybe I got that wrong. Maybe it's just not financially, you know. Maybe it's either you're socially, financially elite, or you've been just a complete fuck up in your life. Either you're broke, you know, your family hates you, you're a new shape of a peg trying to fit into any sort of fucking hole, right? Jim says you got to have cash to sell your image. Exactly. Trump figured out this out in the 80s. Yeah, I agree, Jim. You know, so another dick that I can't fucking stand is Gene Simmons at Kiss. He's a fucking marketing genius. And really, it's fucking saturation works. But like you said, you got to have the money to do that. Just, you know, oversaturation, where whether people are fucking buying your product or not, your name is on their tongue because somebody else is talking about them, or whatever it is, right? Because everybody else is talking about them. It's like fucking ivermectin, right? It went viral, and that caused it to go more viral, you know? James says, when has a billionaire ever made the middle class life better, poor people better? When has that ever happened? It doesn't happen, James, and that's another fucking issue, god damn it. A thorn in my side about libs, Dems. Why aren't we hammering down on this fucking corporate welfare? Tax cuts for fucking businesses, and Michigan is, you know, some of our Democratic leaders here in Michigan are pretty fucking disgustingly guilty about this. I get and appreciate the goodwill and intent of trying to encourage business, but it doesn't create jobs. Demand creates jobs, right? If there's a fucking, and trust me, Jim knows, as a Dutchman, if there's a penny to be made after your employees are paid, your fucking electric bill's paid, right? Then you go into business. It doesn't have anything to do with the fucking government fucking giving you free shit because you have a good idea. You don't have the idea. There's clearly demand out there. Somebody's going to fill it if there's enough. If the demand brings in 1 penny of profit after me, the business owner, is paid, everybody's paid, they're going into business. Has nothing to do with the fucking tax breaks. You can give people all the tax breaks in the world, and if the fucking business isn't profitable, guess what happens? You gave some rich motherfuckers a tax break. Am I fucking preaching at you guys when I shouldn't be or don't need to be? Any of you folks lurking, appreciate you. Give a thumbs up or down. Share with those you love, those you don't. Subscribe and ring my all bell. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I wish I could stream every goddamn night, and there will be times I will be, but I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to do whatever we have to do. I don't know what that is, but we're going to keep discussing it. We have a big ass election on November 3rd, 2026, and whatever the hell we can do, stand strong with the folks we have in Congress right now and the Senate, and fuck, I don't know. Spin around your chair 3 times and throw some salt over your shoulder. James says it's all a horse pace. They fall for the okey doke. Yep. Billionaires don't give a fuck about you or me. Right. Yeah, you didn't see no billionaires fucking. Nobody was eating horse pace. Trump wasn't fucking taking hydroxychloroquine. You know what I mean? None of these fuckers were taking any of that shit. Joe Rogan might have fucking ate some horse pace. I have no idea. But Trump wasn't fucking using any of that shit. Any of the fucking elites, like James just mentioned, they weren't fucking. They're going to their goddamn doctor. Half them motherfucking Republicans were fucking balls out to get to the fucking pharmacy to get their fucking vaccine. Jim says, he's used to it, James. I got millionaire relatives who don't give a fuck about me. I'm okay with this. They're insufferable. Yeah. You know, nobody says that most rich folks don't work for it. I've said there are plenty of folks that don't. Even many of the folks that are rich and really worked hard and built something. Look, I could give a bunch of examples. I don't have them right on the tip of my tongue. And anybody that wants to drop comments after this post and say, well, why don't you fucking take the time, take a day TV and find me some more fucking names like Musk. There's lots. Like, look, you can look at, was it Steve Gates or Steve Jobs and, God damn it. What the fuck's the Microsoft guy's name? I can't even fucking remember his first name. Anyways. A lot of the shit starts with fucking someone else's brilliant idea, or you do, you know, again, not saying they don't fucking work hard, and a lot of them aren't, that they're not very smart. It's just that, no, for fuck's sake, how much are we getting done on our own in this world? Good luck. You better have a piece of property that you don't have to pay any taxes on, or you already have fucking money stored to fucking pay the property taxes every year until your ass fucking kicks the bucket. And then you go sit out there and fucking burn wood and create your own fucking electricity. Or you could, maybe you got enough money to cover your electric bill till you die too. Are you shooting off your own food and growing it? Or did you save enough money to go ahead and go to the grocery store? Because if you did that, then you're not on your own. I don't give a fuck how many fucking dollars you earned to go buy your steak for yourself that you fucking earned. Don't go to that store, because that's being part of society, right? These folks like Jobs and Gates and Thiel and Musk, and most of the time, very capable people business-wise, right? They're surrounded by a lot of fucking hardworking, smart, motivated people of all ages. And look, I don't pretend to think that we have the right to decide just what anybody should be paid, right? I struggle with that. Obviously, I'm an American who loves freedom, right? Companies profiting multi-million dollars a year that have employees somewheres in America making $9 an hour is a crock of fucking shit. Again, so how much should we pay him, TV? That CEO of whoever, just got a $14 million bonus, just a bonus this year. That one senior or CEO, that's just his bonus or her bonus. How much of a raise should we give those people making $9 an hour? I can't fucking answer that, because you start talking about a raise to give someone a living wage to where, even though it would still be very tough, they might be able to start saving if they're real frugal, if they're Dutchmen, right? So you're telling this fucking CEO he needs to start paying someone $6 or $7 more an hour than he's been paying them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've done the math before, and Bezos could he had like somewhere around 36,000, 40,000 employees in America at Amazon, right? It was given each one of them, I don't know, $175,000 or something like that. Each one of those employees, and it would cost them, I don't know, a couple $2 billion or some bullshit. I'm sorry. It's fucking crumbs, right? It's crumbs compared to his wealth. He would lose a certain percentage of those employees because they would now have the means to go out and start their own little business. And even if they weren't able to ever hire anybody, but they stayed successful, they're now employing themselves. And probably at some point, if they're able to stay with it, making more than Bezos was paying them. But those positions didn't go away when those people quit. So now he can fill them. So he was generous. Didn't change anything Bezos can do for his philanthropy or whatever he fucking gives to charity or his future business prospect, his, the huge investments he does in his fucking dick ship, right? It's not changing any of that. Why aren't these questions being asked to these people? And I go on this fucking rant because it goes back to the fucking corporate welfare, taxpayer-funded corporate welfare. The what to pay people is always going to be tough. But we need to never, whether we're successful or not, we need to never stop hammering down on these fucking people. Just browbeating them. This is going to make you more successful. Fucking open up your fucking coin purse a little bit more, bitch. And the fucking rewards will come back to you tenfold. That's how someone like Bezos had got so successful. Because he just kept pouring the money he made. He wasn't about having this fucking $130 billion bank account. He had, several $1 million and just pouring it all right back into his company. Because he knew what he fucking felt. He knew the drive he had and the idea he had. He just knew it. He's got 40,000 fucking other people working for him that a lot of those same folks have that same goddamn intelligence, drive, understanding, right? How is it hurting Bezos by fucking making the world stronger? You guys want to know how? You probably already do, right? How would you guys guess? What? Even if somebody just wasn't a fucking power tripping motherfucker, right? Why is it, do you think, that we are seeing these huge, vast wastelands between, a certain percent of society and the rest of us, right? Like there's just more and more daylight between what people make. Yeah, Jim says, I think the point is they're not nearly as smart as they think they are. Generally, right place at the right time, for sure. For sure, luck has a lot to do with it. But you can't, even if you have just stupid fucking windfalls, right? If you just fucking, if somebody fucking, you're sitting on your porch and a fucking bag of money drops in your fucking lap and you say, ouch, instead of, oh, wow, check this out, man. I can fucking do some shit, right? You know what I'm saying, Jim? God damn it. Fucking bags of money dropping out of the sky. Yeah, Jim. And again, and I know you probably feel the same way I do, brother. It's like somebody wants a $400 million yacht. Good for them if they can pay for it. I don't understand it. I don't. Like, I don't know, man. There would be something that would just make me like, God, I don't need this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, we've all probably heard those fucking stories about what it costs to maintain these yachts and the amount of time these motherfuckers spend on it. It's insane. James says, I've dealt with wealthy CEOs of big companies that have been at the right place at the right time and know other small business owners that would run loops around them. Yeah. Well, we've all seen it personally, I think. There's been times where, maybe we've thought that we were far more capable to be in a certain position than someone else was. And I have vice versa, right? Like, I had people working under me, and I'm like, and I just straight up with them, like, for fuck's sake, you know this shit way better than, not that I was, incapable. It's just smart people fucking surround themselves with smarter people, right? I think I was good at management because I took advantage of any strengths anybody had. I don't know who showed me that early on in life, but that's the key. That's always been the key for me with music, running restaurants, doing the landscaping. You fucking use who you got. And not only that, you find out what they enjoy because there's a good chance that's what they're going to be best at. Not what they want to do, but what they enjoy doing. Jim says he worked for FedEx. It's a great company with a manageable number of morons on the loose. I have great respect for Fred Smith. He invented an industry. Sadly, his kids are idiots. Yeah, it's odd, Jim. I'm sure you think about that too with your kids. Like, I do. Like, I never... You guys know how passionate I am of a person. And so you can imagine with my music and art. And I guess maybe it was good for the kids that I wasn't so passionate about politics while we were raising them. But I never, and I'm glad, I never fucking hammered down or tried to get them to following my footsteps as music, right? Like, tried to live through them because I never made the big time or whatever it is. So I'm glad for that, but... And I think a good parent, it's a balance anyways, right? My focus, because I was such a fucking free spirit, was I'm letting my kids fucking, experience and do whatever they want. And that kind of shit didn't mean like, my kids get to do whatever the hell they want to do. My kids are raised to keep their shit together. But other than that, we didn't browbeat them or hammer down about bad grades unless we knew they were fucking copping out, right? And they turn out different than us. There's no doubt about it. A few years ago when I was, because my two oldest, or the three oldest kids really, but the third kid and the first kid, they follow politics pretty good, and were Trump supporters, are Republicans. Thank God, they can at least look at me and say, Dad, this guy, he's a fucking jackass, but I don't like anything the Dems do. It's like, fine, whatever. You guys support your own life. What more can I say about that? If you don't want to fucking help the people around you, don't. And, God damn it, Jim. I fucking lost my train of thought now. Oh, but so I told them at that point, I'm like, I said, you realize your grandparents are Trump supporters too. You know that, right? It's like, you don't want to fucking associate with the same fucking political views as your dad? Does it make you happier that your grandma shares your same political views? I mean, not that they didn't love their Grammy, but you know what I mean? She wasn't she wasn't a Grammy that we looked for insight on social issues much, right? She was just great, my mom was she was a baby boomer, so she was raised with the sense of a position in life as a female, right? So even though she was a pretty liberal woman, I mean, she was a single mom in the 70s. That had to be pretty fucking tough, but she still really was really maintained that kind of sense of a woman's duty to their husband her whole life, I'll tell you. So anyways, the kid's seen that, right? Because obviously Mrs. V is my partner. We had a family matriarch. I just love and respect women and the girls in my family and my female friends. And so it was funny. Like, what do you think about that? You think I'm a dipshit? You share the same fucking political views as your grandma. Mrs. V was in the equation? Yeah. Yeah. There's just no doubt about it. I don't know if there's anything productive about it, but I'm just well aware of me and Christina's assumed roles in our families, and by assumed, not what we assume each other's roles are, what we have assumed for our roles, right? And it's worked. Like, it's just really, for the most part, some of that shit, if you have to have a discussion about it, there's probably going to be an issue. Right? Right? Like, if you have to tell your husband, look, motherfucker, I don't give a shit if you got a fucking dick. It makes no difference. James says, TV Jim, I got to blast off. Button some things up here before beer o'clock. Thanks for the chat. James, have I ever told you how much I love you, brother? I love you. I love you. Tell Mrs. M I said, what's up? And tell her thank you. TV appreciates her. We all appreciate her keeping you vertical and sucking wind and sucking down beers. Stay cool, Jim. Or James. God damn it. Yeah, I'm pushing the 2-hour mark anyway, so I'm probably going to fuck off here before too long anyways. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to sit here for a minute. Always a good chat. Always a good chat. I never worry about that anymore. You know, I had these, I never worried about it, I guess. Worried about it, but Laura knows. There been some streams 4 or 5 years ago where it was just me and Laura, and nights where it was just me and Putin, maybe just me and James fucking yapping. So it's always cool to, no matter what lately, I could start a stream before I even get yapping, rolling most of the time. There's a half a dozen people watching. I know there's a lot of you, some of you Trumpers out there with your fucking ears on, eyes glued to the screen, waiting for TV to say something completely fucking, you know, outrageous. 2-hour show, you could probably wouldn't have to fucking rewind or fast forward for more than a minute or two to every couple minutes or two to find me saying something outrageous. Doesn't mean it ain't true, motherfuckers. Jim, you be good. And don't just fucking honey her, all right? Come on, man. Come on. She's smarter than that. You've got your head on your shoulders. You are well aware, or aware enough to know that it's time for you to go have the conversation with the wife. Don't honey. All right? I'm here for you. She's onto that shit. You're going to fucking listen, and look her in the eye. Sometimes it helps to disagree, Jim. If you tell her, yep, you're right, I agree. Well, that's it. So you disagree? You don't have any opinion on it? Sometimes it's good to disagree. You know what I mean? Even if you don't. Just disagree. Keep it real. Jim, I appreciate you, brother. I do. Always a fucking blast yapping with you folks. I can't wait until next time. I felt like I fucking run my mouth pretty gosh darn good tonight, even though I feel like I could yap a while longer, but shit, 10 after 10. I guess I could beat Ruby up. That guitar's always needing a good fucking ass kicking. So Jim Weds, James, Darlene, Angela, and Nem was here, and Dave was here. I apologize if I forget and miss anyone, but I appreciate you folks. I do. Mrs. V, appreciate you. Oh, looks like Dave Riota was here too. Not that that matters. Mrs. V, appreciate you helping keep my keep me out of her hair, keep our marriage strong, because she knows that when it's time to have the conversation that I will be all ears and eyes, and I won't honey her. And I know Jim won't tonight. Honey his honey either. So all right, you guys, you know the drill. Be good. I'll see you very soon. There's no doubt about it. At least I got a couple more fucking streams in me before I need a fucking break again. Right? All right, peace and love. TV2 out like a motherfucker.
vote.